The walls exhaled. That was the first thing I noticed about 47 Mercer Lane, a slow, rhythmic expansion and contraction of the wallpaper. I'd seen the listing photos online. I knew the house was old, but I didn't expect it to be, well, alive. I shrugged off the feeling. Old houses have quirks. This one just had particular resonant acoustics. That night, I woke up to what sounded like wet respiration in the vents. The realtor had warned me about quirky acoustics, but when I pressed my ear to the bedroom wall, I didn't hear the muffled sound of traffic or distant music. I felt warm moisture against my skin. It was the house breathing. I got over my surprise quickly. It was a beautiful old house and the price was good. I chalked the sound up to some trick of the air and went back to sleep. But in the morning, I woke up again to the unmistakable sound of the house inhaling sharply behind my headboard. The drywall buckled outward, then collapsed inward like a lung. It was a sound that shouldn't have been human, let alone alive. I sat up in bed and stared at the wall as if expecting to see a chest rise and fall. I heard a soft thud, then the scrape of something heavy hitting the floor. I got out of bed to investigate. In the corner of the room, I found the bathroom mirror lying face down on the carpet. Someone or something had pulled it from its hangers, and the bathroom was filled with the fine powder of 1,000 shattered shards. I could feel their gazes boring into my back as I gingerly stepped over the glass and made my way to the door. I didn't want to look back. I didn't want to see whatever was watching me, but I did. For a moment, I stood paralyzed by what I saw, unable to move or scream or even breathe. Behind me, the wall was missing a chunk the size of a refrigerator. In its place was an abyss. I don't want to be too dramatic here, so I'll just say that it looked like the mouth of hell. Jagged black teeth scraped against the wallpaper like the lining of some colossal mouth. And the longer I stood there staring at it, the more I felt its hot, fetid breath on my neck. The air grew thick and tasted like sulfur. I wanted to run, but my feet were rooted to the spot. I wanted to scream, but my throat had turned to dust. I was a helpless insect caught in the gaze of some enormous predator. Then something shifted behind me. The sound of heavy footsteps on the stairs made me roll around. No one was there. I raced to the front door and flung it open, but it wouldn't budge. I rattled the handle frantically, but it was locked from the outside. I tried the other doors. They were all locked. The windows were all locked from the inside. I ran to the bedroom window and pounded on the glass. My reflection stared back at me accusingly. I don't remember how long I stood there, but eventually the pounding in my chest subsided and the room grew quiet. I slumped down onto the floor and made myself small in the corner. The house was breathing again, but now it was faster, as if excited. I could hear the attic rafters creaking like stretching ribs. Whatever was inside this house was coming awake. It was happening now. Whatever it was stirring inside the walls. And whatever it wasn't friendly. I huddled in the corner and waited for it to find me. I thought about calling out for help, but why would anyone believe me? Who would believe that a house was alive and that it was hungry? The front door burst open and a cold wind swept through the room, swirling dust in the air. Something big was moving around out there, just outside my line of sight. I watched the doorway, waiting for it to come for me. I closed my eyes, bracing for the inevitable, but nothing happened. After a while, I opened my eyes to find the house empty and silent. I spent the night curled up on the floor, listening to the house breathe around me. The sun was barely up when I slipped out the front door. I don't know what happened after that. I never went back to that house, not to retrieve my things or to check on the gaping hole in the wall. Maybe the house is still there. Maybe it's waiting for its next victim. All I know is that sometimes when I am lying in bed and I hear a floorboard creak or a pipe groan, I can't help but think of 47 Mercer Lane and wonder if the house is breathing.